Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching this from. This is Cornelius Subinda with another video. And in this video, we are proving the identity for this past paper 2016 paper 1 internal. Alright? Okay, so if you look at this question, look at the identity. As you can see from the question, an equation or an identity always has a left-hand side and a right-hand side. So this side is called the left-hand side, then this side is called the right-hand side. So you need to pick the side of the equation which will be easy to simplify to give you the other side of the equation. What I mean is, for example, if you pick this side, which is the right-hand side of the equation, you should simplify it in such a way that you remain with an answer like the left-hand side of the equation. Okay, so if you pick the left-hand side of the equation, it would be very hard for you to get the right-hand side because you would need identities that are above our level for additional mathematics. So the first step is you pick the side of the equation, and I'm going to pick the right-hand side and write the identity on the right-hand side. So I'm going to say RHS, I underline, is equal to tangent theta minus cotangent theta. And then you need to know the identity tangent theta is equal to sine theta. You divide by cosine theta. And then you say cot theta is equal to a 1 over tangent. This is tangent theta. So what you can see from here is that cot theta is the inverse of tangent theta. So that's something to take into consideration as you are answering. Okay, so you check from the third letter. The third letter for cot is the letter T, which means it's the inverse of tangent theta. Then we substitute what we know. As you can see here, we're going to say is equal to sine theta over cosine theta. Let me just write that. It's not very clear, right? Sine theta over cosine theta minus, we have minus cot theta. Look at it, that's cot theta there. Cot theta is the inverse of cos of tangent theta rather. So I'm going to say cos theta over sine theta. Then to continue, look for the lowest common denominator, and in this case we're going to multiply cos theta and sine theta, and then we are going to have is equal to cos theta, okay, is equal to cos theta sine theta. And then if you look at it nice, you're going to say cos theta into cos theta sine theta. You're going to remain with sine theta. Sine theta multiplied by sine theta will be sine theta squared. Sine theta squared is written like this, then minus sine theta into sine theta cos theta. You're going to have cos theta. Cos theta multiplied by cos theta will be cos theta squared. And then when you reach this stage, it's like you're getting very much closer to the left-hand side of the equation. Look at the left-hand side of the equation, we had that there. So we're getting closer to having that particular answer. And if you look at the answer, there was nothing containing cos theta squared. So you need to think of the identity that cos, okay? So cos theta squared is equal to 1 minus sine theta squared. So I'm going to use that identity where we are going to say is equal to sine theta squared minus, so 1 minus sine theta squared. Then you are going to divide by cos theta sine theta, like that. Then to continue, you distribute the negative inside the parentheses or the brackets. You're going to have negative 1 plus sine theta squared. Sorry for that. Okay, so for this page we are done. We continue to the next page. So we're going to say is equal to sine theta squared, like that, minus 1 plus sine theta squared. You divide by cos theta sine theta. Then after we have distributed the negative in the brackets, as we can see, there are some like terms that we can add. So let's add like terms together. Hence, we're going to say is equal to 2 sine theta squared minus 1. You divide by, okay, so here as the denominator we have cos theta sine theta. Since the squared is not supposed to be there, please take note. The sine theta squared on the denominator was not supposed to be there. Let me just write it again. Okay, I was supposed to write sine theta squared plus minus 1 plus sine theta squared, like that. You divide by sine theta. Let me not write sine theta also, it will bring problems. You divide by cos theta sine theta. That's what I wrote, right? Then I said it will be equal to 2 sine theta squared. When we add like terms together, minus 1, then we divide by. Multiplication is commutative, so it means cos theta times sine theta is the same as writing sine theta sine theta. Okay, it's the same as writing sine theta cos theta. It's the same as writing that. So that's what we have, sine theta cos theta. And as you can see, this is the same as the left hand side. So how do you conclude? You will say, therefore, left hand side is equal to right hand side, comma, you write a comma, then you say hence proven. Hence proven. So this is the final answer. That's how you conclude. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you stayed there until the end of this video, this has been Cornelius Window with another video, and bye bye.